Oh, shalom, my family. So, your brother Yefdi, yo, Haniswale Emmanuel here again for another posting, and I just wanted to, speak straight and talk straight with you this video. So, again, I give thanks again for all of the family who continue to check out Rastafari Renaissance, those of you who convene with us at DSR and on our Blog Talk Radio, Discipleship Radio. And of course, I show your support for the Lion of Judah Society.org, as well as RastafariGroundation.com. Those who are seeking to come in and reason with us, make sure you receive a link and just drop your info in the contacts page so that you may, of course, be connected, with I Network. And of course, a shout out to RastafariNetwork.net, as well as Rastafari TV, Rastafari Midrashim, Rastafari Gardening, and Melek Media House. So many of our brothers and sisters continuing to, continue in their own works and bring out their own talents and contributions, to this growing community. We are so thankful for so many of our brothers and sisters, and especially our sisters, on the launch and the kickoff of Women's Wednesday. Wow. I can't, even formulate all of the words that I could put together, just to express, the feelings that I have, that have grown, of course, for these sisters as they continue to step up and, of course, step out on faith with the things that they intend to bring forward. I'm so grateful, again, for such a collective of individuals, seeking, to really create the space in which such a community would need to really take off in its first steps, I should say. I mean, we still see ourselves as being in the initial steps and phases, of this growing and really asperous movement. So of course of Rastafari, but the soul crux of being our Judeo-Christian, Ethiopian, Hebrew lineage, and of so many others. I give so much thanks, and of course to our brother Wyndham Ariel, Wyndham Aaron, so many other brothers and sisters I can name, Ras Amlak Raji. I could go on and on about my family that I hold so near and dear. But of course, we've come to, our first initial cycle on Discipleship Radio, and so many ones and ones have, come in and joined us as we have continued our cycle Torah portion readings, just of really gaining grounds and really delving deep into our studies and making sure that we build each other up in those studies so that everyone may seemingly get to the same page, especially in understanding, so that we may be able to communicate effectively, with each and every one of this community. So we come to our first portion in our cycle Torah portion readings, of course, in the beginning from the book of Genesis. And of course, just to mention, brothers and sisters, with so many themes and topics that come throughout the cycle Torah portion readings, it's always beneficial, and just in order to begin at the beginning, as our Rebbe and our Wyndham, my brother and teacher, always says. And it's always just common sense, to begin at the beginning. So here we have started again, or to begin again, in Degana, and the beginning of not only the Torah portion readings, but the beginning of our Bible in the first book, the first line, in the beginning. So many topical themes and matters and subjects will be explained, especially from revisiting, the beginning portion again. As we can see just within the first two chapters of the Bible, we have so many matters that have been explained to us, just from the first few chapters, which we know the Genesis readings are from chapter 1 all the way up to chapter 6. But, and if ones would focus just on the first 2 to 3 chapters, and take those readings, on a day-by-day basis, I would say from, of course, a day like this for the Sunday, the Yom Rishon or the Ehud, they would take it from those readings. You could really separate a lot of the readings, and you'll be able to conquer them more effectively, going through the Cycle Torah portion readings, as, even myself, and of course, our brethren have explained at one point that, kind of gauging and, really trying to read as much of the Torah portion readings in one day as you can, it really can be, quote unquote, stressful to a point, or it really can be, it really can feel like a hindrance. So I don't, really advocate for reading the Cycle Torah portion readings all in one day. But if ones are able, and they're really at a point to where that's really the focus of what they're doing, and they have the time and the space and the tranquility, in and amongst not only their home or wherever they might be, then of course I don't want to, leave that lingering on the eye's mind. If, you have the time and the opportunity to do so in one day, please do so, and meditate and read and study and gain and grow upon the word, if the eye is able. But again, we begin at the beginning. And again, we say there's so many themes, matters, and topics that, of course, coming from this Cycle Torah portion reading, that will be explained, that most ones haven't really explored, and especially haven't had anyone else explain to them. So beginning at the beginning, again, really brings about, a clear and an overt as well as a covert understanding. So ones will really be able to put together the pieces of the story that a lot of people haven't. So again, we mentioned starting at the beginning, you really get a full spectrum of what the Holy Bible, the Torah, the Orit, as we say from our ancient languages, it puts together the entirety of the story from a holistic perspective. So I give thanks again for all of the family tuning in with us. Hopefully you will continue, to follow and subscribe and share, and just come in and reason with us if you have the time and the opportunity, and of course, come in and share the love. Share the love with the family that continues to grow and gain more knowledge in this collective unit that we've, of course, established, of course, in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, to the greater glory of Abba Father. So again, make a segue in this video, family, because, of course, we had the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March, of course, coordinated and the call made by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, great brother of the Nation of Islam, successor of course, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as well as the Honorable W.D. Fard Muhammad. And, there's so many things that we can mention about that collective unit as well. And we didn't mention it so much on our Discipleship Radio podcast, because we sought that the things that were actually brought up amongst, as I would say, the Ishmaelite brothers. Ishmael, of course, is the brother in the Holy Scriptures, of course, of Isaac. Of course, Abraham being both their father, but and Hagar, of course, being Ishmael's mother, and Sarah being, of course, Isaac or Yitzhak's mother. And we'll come across these studies again as we continue in our Torah portion readings, as that reading, of course, will come up very soon and very quickly. And, of course, ones will have more of an understanding of what I am speaking of when I speak of course, Ishmael and Isaac. So, again, just going into the anniversary of the Million Man March, and just wanted to speak a few words on it regarding ones and ones, just to clarify a little bit, just from I and I's own perspective. Of course, the Rebbe has his own perspective on those things in which we value, very much. And of course, my brother Lid Zawadi Teferi may have another opinion or thoughts on the matter. And Winnie Yasson and Sister Emmanuel and Sister Mary Rose and Sister Salamawit and so many of our family may have different perspectives on that topical matter. But this is just for I and I's own thoughts and I and I's own just citing of these happenings and themes going on in and of the world. So I make mention to this matter because, of course, it's a very significant event. It's a very prominent event, and that it definitely will have a lot of recurring effects. And do I know the exactness of those recurring effects? No, I do not. But I will say on the outset that I mentioned, of course, a lot of, some of these topical themes that would be very prospective and forthcoming, to our Winderman Rebbe and teacher. We just passed through, as I said, we've come to the first cycle Torah portion readings of Bereshit on B'Mejameria. We come to this point, just passing through the blood moon tetrad of 2014 and 2015, and just just to give you a perspective on where I and I's mind is thinking on this point. It's just many actions to come, many occurrences to come, I should say. So it's just the initial, I would say, and it would definitely not only behoove many, but really be a point of reference to keep your eyes open, especially for the happenings and things that might happen in the next coming years, especially for the rest of the year and the coming years, as of course, are going to be the stepping down of President Barack Obama of the United States, and the presidential elections have been entertaining, I should say the least, for the moment, but of course significant and important matter, especially going forward to the coming years, as just another point of reference. But these are our other themes just to go along with the of course 20th anniversary of the Million Man March. Here for October 10th, 2015. So Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan of the Nation of Islam puts the call out to the nation. Back in 1995, I was, of course, still very young, and seeing the effects of that movement, that event at that time, and the things to come after, there were, many different systemic, adjustments, I should say. And I would expect nothing less on this end 20 years after. So it's a very important thing that ones are, very aware, and I would say become even more aware. Intensify your awareness of things going on around you in this time. But sending so much of my support, to so many of the brothers and sisters that, of course, went out to the 20th anniversary of the phenomenal event. And, of course, not only for, we Afro-American and African peoples or others of African descent and so on and so forth. But, of course, the event and the call made out by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was not only for Afro-American, African men of African descent, as it was 20 years ago, as this call for this year of 2015, October 10th, it was indeed made, to all of the nation. And, so again, just seeing the growth, not only in numbers and strength, but also in understanding and the growth of wisdom I've seen from the minister, the great minister, Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Just seeing the growth really has been, something to see for a youth man, someone of the youth as myself. So the response, by the people, again and indeed very great and very vast, as again many turned out, and of course very selective and minute media coverage, and so many biblical themes can really speak to that from, just my own perspective, not forcing that on anyone who may be listening to this video who doesn't have the opinion of myself. But, again, just mentioning the Ishmael lineage of Islam, and seeing how brothers and sisters like myself would more so adhere to biblical perspectives of a Judeo-Christian or Hebraic or Ethiopian Hebrew perspective. It, really should open your eyes in another way to some of the things that, our Islamic brothers or the Nation of Islam or, so on and so forth of many other Islamic sects would bring about in that event. The scripture speaks very prevalently about how Ishmael would be, to sum it up, his own man. And so many would have, their hands, put against him. But of course, God in one perspective, Yah, Abba, or as my Islamic brothers would say, Allah, would have more control over what would really come of Ishmael than any of the others who would put their hands against Ishmael. So again, I commend the event, and there's of course, just from my own perspective, so many other things to come. more so down the line, and looking forward to the rest of this year, and as well as the coming years. So again, just to make mention of these thoughts that I am having, and just as I'm speaking, I'm having even more thoughts about many of the thoughts and themes that seem to continue to come up in and amongst Afro-American, outlets of media and other talks, and just everyday speech in and amongst the people. It's extremely interesting time, and still so much to do. I could go on and on about so many of the themes that have to be spoken about, have to be expanded upon, and so much about how certain things need to be fixed, and what needs to be done here and there. But just going through this reasoning and having my thoughts kind of come out here for this video, I don't seem very compelled to do so, because somehow or one way or another, I really feel just in my own spirit that many people know what needs to be done. So it's a matter of words that have no need to be spoken. And of course, I pray Abba Father gives each and every one of you the strength in which you need to complete the tasks that need to be completed. I make no decree upon anyone, for I know that when a time comes for certain actions to be taken, and of course, hopefully all in righteousness, that those things, of course, will be carried out. So, not to hold the eye too much longer, as my thoughts, of course, continue to race and, this time and season. But I bid the eye, of course, shalom, peace within the heart, home, and in the mind. And please continue to check out our postings and our podcasts on blogtalkradio.com/discipleship radio, with the last O in radio being 0. And of course, we have the YouTube postings, which if you are not able to join us for the live podcast, you can always catch the on-demand replays there, as well as on Blog Talk Radio. Make a subscription, of course, to our Rastafari Sabbatical here, of course, at Yefdi on YouTube, as well as many of our other related channels, as you will see them, of course, on the left-hand corner of most of our YouTube postings, our related channels for many of our brothers and sisters. And, of course, I support the lineofjudahsociety.org, as well as RastafariGroundation.com, and make sure to come in and reason with us, join us, and of course share in the growth with us. Shalom.